Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the SoundMAGIC ES19S Earphones. So I'd like to thank Mark from KS Distribution for yet again sending me out some SoundMAGIC earphones for review. Now, I'd previously reviewed the E10s and the E80s, and I was very much intrigued to see how the ES19S would compare. These can be found for around £20 on Amazon.co.uk. I didn't get a price in the US because I couldn't find it on Amazon, but this is extremely affordable, £20 for these set of earphones. So what do you get in the box? Well, it's extremely simple. You got the earphones and sets of tips, that's it. Now the set of tips I've got are small and medium. There's normally large also included, but Mark was checking the packaging, forgot to include the large tips. That's no problem, no worries, because I don't wear large tips anyway, but it's small, large and medium silicone tips which are included. It's a little bit of a shame there's nothing else included, like a small little carrying case or anything like that. But that said, considering its price, it is to be expected that costs are going to be saved somewhere. Now let's go into its build quality. Now the build quality of the earphones is decent. It's terminated by a gold-plated straight 3.5mm jack. It would have been better if this was a right angle jack. It just promotes longevity. As you can see, it does look a little bit weak there with its strain relief. Now the cable itself is decent, but it does get tangled pretty easily. It is of decent thickness, which is good. Now over here you've got a very clever A/B switch. Now it's something I noticed in the P21S SoundMAGIC headphones, and basically this is very clever. You've got different poles for earphones, or any sort of audio device, shall I say. You've got ones which work on Apple devices, you've got one which work on newer Android devices or older Android devices, and often you're presented with an earphone that has an inline mic but unfortunately can't be used because you have an Apple device but it's made for Android, or vice versa. The pole switch over here basically solves that because it just switches the poles on the jack, meaning you can use them both on Apple or Android devices without any sort of problems. This is sensational and I really do love this. I've said it before on my SoundMAGIC headphone review that I would really like to see this in pretty much every audio device made out there in the world because it's so simple and does incorporate the whole market rather than one side or the other, or companies designing two different set of earphones, one made for Apple, one made for non-Apple devices. Anyway, if it wasn't clear already, it does have an inline mic. Now the button is a little bit hard to press, I found, but it does do play, pause with touch of a button. If you double click it, it does previous and next, which is brilliant, or triple click it, so to speak. And also you can answer and drop calls with it, which is brilliant. So yes, it has an inline mic and it does work flawlessly. Now moving up the cable, you've got the earphones themselves. It's a shame that again we don't see the use of a blue and red indicator like on the E10s, which is very simple. It would be nice to integrate it within this little ring over here. But anyway, the earphones themselves have the left and right indicator over here, which is quite clear to see. And the design of it is decent. It's made out of plastic, but with this little silver ring gives it a little bit extra touch of class. Now in terms of the isolation of the earphones, I did find them reasonably good. They're not amazing, but just like the E10s, they do isolate at a decent amount. But due to their relatively small size, they don't block out that much noise. Now in terms of comfort, I was actually very comfortable wearing these earphones, both straight down and over the ear. So yes, I did wear them over the ear despite its weird, or shall I say long design over here for the strain relief, but it does work over the ear and you can wear it. Now normally I wear earphones over the ear to block out cable noise, but it's safe to say that on these and the E10s that the cable noise is quite minimal. So therefore over the ear use is not really needed, but if you want to block out that little extra bit of cable noise, then you can do it completely and totally by doing it wearing these over the ear. Now let's move on to the actual sound quality, which is the most important part of any audio review. Now the sound quality was expected as something that would be a little bit worse than the E10s. Considering the E10s coming around £35, these coming at £20, I was expecting these to sound just a little worse, and they pretty much did in every single aspect. In terms of the lows, the mid bass had a decent slam, but unfortunately it wasn't that controlled. I found that case to be on the E10s as well, but it just still wasn't that controlled with the ES19S. the sub bass was actually present, and I was actually quite surprised, pleasantly surprised, to hear actually some sub bass, because for £20 earphones I was expecting no sub bass whatsoever. But there was sub bass, and it was cut off, but it's good to actually have some sub bass at this sort of price range. The mids were quite recessed. They weren't quite V-shaped, but recessed. Now what I found is that the mids were affected by its soundstage, which I'll get into in just a second. The mids felt a little bit pushed back, didn't have that much air and sort of breathing room, and therefore just felt a little bit, they wanted to do more but they couldn't. Now the highs were actually very impressive. They provide a nice sparkle, and okay, despite being rolled off on the high end, I was quite impressed with their overall presentation. The sparkle give it a nice life, and there's a lot of earphones out there which are made to sound neutral, but in fact just sound dull and completely cut off in the high end or the low end, whereas these actually had sparkle and did sound really nice and gave actual life to music. Now the soundstage is something I just alluded to. Now it wasn't bad. You know, considering its price, it's actually amazing for its soundstage, but when I compared it to the E10s, I felt the soundstage was really holding back the sound quality of the earphones. It's just a shame, because if the sound quality was just that little bit, the soundstage was just a little bit better, it would improve the sound quality drastically, especially the mid section of the earphones. So the soundstage was a little bit confined, it did feel a little bit closed. It was decent, as I said, for its price, actually quite good for its price, but just if it was just a little bit more open or just had a little bit better decay, then I think the mids would have been presented a lot better. Overall though, I think its sound quality for a £20 set of earphones is absolutely sensational. I'd rate it one of the best in-ear earphones for its price, definitely in terms of price to performance ratio and affordability and availability. These definitely rate up there with great earphones such as the E10s, which provide excellent value for money. And I'm very much a sucker for earphones or any sort of device or product that is really affordable but yet provides a good quality for its price. So the E10s, for example, is a prime example of that, or my mouse, for example, which is an Anker mouse. It's only £25 but has so many different buttons and a good sensor inside. You know, it's absolutely brilliant when it competes with £70, £80 mices out there. Same goes for these earphones. Sure, they might not sound like £100 earphones, neither do the E10s, but they're not trying to be. They're just trying to be affordable earphones for their price, and they do exactly that. And I really like that with the ES19S. And I definitely do suggest, if you're looking for a cheap set of earphones and you're really on a tight budget, or even if you want to buy a little gift and you don't want to spend too much money, like just for your friend, or you've got many friends and whatever it is, and £20 is your budget, then these earphones are a great buy, I would say. So especially with the fact they've got inline mic and the AB switch, it's brilliant. Now, I just want to finish the review on one small note. Is one thing that I noticed is that when I was playing music through my phone, that when I plugged it in, sometimes it wouldn't register as the earphones being plugged in, which was really weird. Then I just switched the AB switch backwards and forwards, and it would register the earphones as being plugged in, despite not moving the jack at all. There's just something I noted, it's just something I should point out. I'm not sure if that's really to do with build quality or not, but I have put it in my written review on my website, which you should check out in the description below, as being a build quality a problem. But it's just something I noted, just in case you are wondering, and if you do own these earphones, then just do bear that in mind. It might be a problem, it might not be, I don't know. But anyway, just something I thought I should mention. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this review. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, as it always helps. Favorite and share it also for your friends and family. And definitely, as I said, check out my written review in the link in the description below. And if you're interested in buying it, at least if you're in the UK, check out the Amazon link in the description below. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. This has been the SoundMAGIC ES19S earphones. Take care guys, Totally Dubbed out. Bye bye.